Meghan Markle is in a state of panic as King Charles, furious over the shocking results of a DNA test, moves to sever Prince Harry's ties with the royal family. Rumors about Harry's true parentage are spreading rapidly, trapping Meghan in yet another storm of royal controversy. Join us as we dive into the royal family's response and Harry's desperate search for the truth. For years, speculation about Prince Harry's parentage has fueled endless debate. Many have pointed out his striking resemblance to James Hewitt, a former British Army officer long rumored to have had an affair with Princess Diana. Diana herself admitted to the relationship, but the royal family insists it began in 1986, 2 years after Harry's birth. According to them, this timeline rules out any possibility of Hewitt being Harry's father. But what if the official version of events isn't accurate? Reports suggest that years ago, King Charles secretly took a DNA test at the urging of other royal family members to confirm Harry's lineage. The results, allegedly buried to avoid a scandal, seem to confirm the worst. Harry might not be Charles's biological son. If true, it would mean that everything Harry believed about his royal identity was built on a lie. His titles, privileges, and access to the monarchy's wealth would have all been based on deception. Rather than revealing the truth, the royal family reportedly chose to keep it hidden. Why? Likely because exposing the secret would have triggered a massive crisis, shaking the monarchy's stability and raising legal and financial complications they weren't prepared to face. So, the truth remained buried. Until now. For Meghan Markle, the stakes couldn't be higher. When she married Harry in 2018, she entered one of the most powerful and scrutinized royal families in the world. The former Suits actress transformed into a duchess, gaining immense global influence. But with this bombshell revelation, everything she and Harry built could come crashing down. From the very beginning, Meghan's relationship with the royal family has been strained. She and Harry have openly spoken about experiencing racism, relentless media scrutiny, and mistreatment by the institution. Their explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey made global headlines when they accused the monarchy of being toxic and emotionally damaging. Through it all, Meghan's influence has been tied to her marriage to Prince Harry, a member of the British royal bloodline. But if it turns out that Harry isn't truly a Windsor, then Meghan's royal connection is suddenly in doubt. This revelation could put everything they've built at risk, from their lucrative Netflix deals and book contracts to their carefully crafted celebrity status. Reports suggest that Meghan was outraged upon hearing about King Charles's alleged decision to make Harry's DNA results public. She saw it as a direct attack on her family and an attempt to strip them of their royal legitimacy. Insiders claim she has been in full crisis mode, holding emergency meetings with her PR team to figure out how to manage the fallout. She knows that if this story gains traction, the Sussex brand could unravel overnight. But Meghan isn't one to back down without a fight. If the royal family is trying to diminish Harry's status, she will push back with everything she has. Will she sit down for another tell-all interview, condemning the monarchy for what she sees as a smear campaign? Will she challenge the DNA results? Or will she encourage Harry to take legal action to protect their financial future? One thing is certain. Meghan isn't going to stay silent. While Meghan prepares for battle in the media, the royal family is sticking to tradition. For generations, the monarchy has followed the principle of never explain, never complain. When controversy erupts, they remain silent, letting the media storm past while they carry on as if nothing has happened. But this time, the royal family might not be able to stay silent. If King Charles truly believes Harry isn't his biological son, ignoring the issue is no longer an option. The legitimacy of the royal bloodline is a cornerstone of the monarchy, and any uncertainty about the line of succession must be addressed. Insiders claim Charles is determined to protect the institution at all costs. He is well aware of the damage Harry and Meghan have already done through their public statements and media deals. If this DNA controversy is real, removing Harry from the line of succession might be the only way to contain the fallout. But what happens next? Will Charles strip Harry of his Duke of Sussex title? Could he decide that Archie and Lilibet should no longer be considered part of the royal family? Will he cut off all financial support to ensure the Sussexes can no longer profit from their royal ties? And how will the British public react if these changes become official? This isn't just another royal scandal. It's a defining moment. If the monarchy has kept the truth about Harry's parentage a secret for years, it raises even bigger questions about what else they might be hiding. If Charles is forced to make difficult decisions now, could this be the beginning of the monarchy's downfall? And if Meghan and Harry decide to fight back, could this turn into a battle that not only reshapes the royal family, but also impacts Britain's political landscape? No matter what happens, one thing is certain. The world is watching. Speculation about Harry's true identity didn't start recently. It has followed him since childhood, ever since he made his first public appearances as a royal. Now, those whispers have turned into a storm, and the truth, whatever it may be, could change everything. Journalists and even those close to the palace couldn't help but notice that Prince Harry looked quite different from his father, King Charles. While Prince William shares many of Charles's features, like his nose and jawline, Harry stands out with his red hair and distinct facial structure. By the mid-1990s, an unexpected name entered the conversation: James Hewitt. A former British cavalry officer, Hewitt was known for his charm and striking good looks. More importantly, he had a well-documented affair with Princess Diana. The two met in 1986, while Diana was still married to Charles. Hewitt embodied everything Diana was drawn to: confidence, adventure, and emotional attentiveness, qualities she often felt were missing in her marriage. In 1995, during her explosive Panorama interview, Diana publicly admitted to the affair, sending shockwaves through the royal family. By then, speculation was already growing about whether James Hewitt might actually be Prince Harry's biological father. The palace has always strongly denied this claim, insisting that Diana's relationship with Hewitt didn't begin until 2 years after Harry's birth. However, some royal watchers remain skeptical. They suspect that the timeline may have been altered to protect the monarchy's image. If Diana's affair had started earlier, it would call Harry's royal status into question and suggest that his entire identity within the monarchy was based on a lie. The physical similarities between James Hewitt and Prince Harry became difficult to ignore. Both had the same striking red hair, similar jawlines, and a mischievous smirk that set them apart from the rest of the royal family. But it wasn't just their appearance that fueled speculation. It was also their mannerisms, body language, and even their shared interests. Hewitt was known for his effortless charm, and Harry possesses that same magnetic personality. Both have an ease with people that makes them instantly likable. Another detail that raised eyebrows? Their height, a trait that only added to the ongoing comparisons. King Charles stands at approximately 5 feet 10 inches, while James Hewitt is over 6 feet tall, and so is Prince Harry. Many found it curious that Harry's height was closer to Hewitt's than to Charles's. The British media eagerly pointed out these similarities, drawing comparisons between Harry and Hewitt whenever he made a public appearance. For years, paparazzi hounded Hewitt, hoping he would slip up and reveal something, but he has consistently denied being Harry's father. In multiple interviews, Hewitt insisted that his affair with Diana began after Harry's birth, making it impossible for him to be the father. Despite his denials, doubts lingered. The royal family, following its long-standing never explain, never complain policy, refused to address the rumors. But their silence only fueled more speculation. If there was nothing to hide, why not put the rumors to rest with a DNA test? Why avoid confronting the speculation head-on? The more the palace ignored the issue, the more people believed there was a deeper truth being kept from the public. Reports suggested that Prince Philip, the Queen's husband and a strict enforcer of royal tradition, was deeply frustrated by the rumors. He allegedly urged Charles to take action, but the royal family remained silent. Then, in the early 2000s, whispers of a secret DNA test began circulating. Supposedly, the test was conducted privately, with the results never disclosed to the public. If the test had confirmed that Charles was Harry's biological father, why not release the findings? That would have been the simplest way to shut down speculation once and for all. Instead, secrecy only deepened suspicions. Some believed the results didn't align with the royal family's official narrative, leading them to bury the truth. For Harry, this wasn't just another tabloid rumor. It was a shadow that followed him throughout his childhood. When Princess Diana was alive, he asked her about it, and she always reassured him that Charles was his father. But as he grew older, he couldn't ignore how often the media brought it up. People close to him have said that these rumors deeply affected him, making him question whether he truly belonged in his own family. Some believe this could have played a role in his decision to distance himself from the royal family. Even after Harry married Meghan Markle, the speculation didn't die down. Some conspiracy theorists claimed that Harry had always known the truth, that Charles wasn't really his father, and that he was paid to keep quiet. Others speculated that Meghan might have uncovered the secret after their wedding, which could explain her tense relationship with the monarchy. Regardless of what's true, the royal family never managed to fully silence the rumors. Now, in a shocking twist, King Charles has reportedly chosen to reveal the truth. The monarchy could no longer ignore the whispers. According to insiders, DNA test results have confirmed what many suspected. Prince Harry is not Charles's biological son. This revelation leaves the royal family with no choice but to address the situation. So, what does this mean for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle? This isn't just another scandal. It's a seismic shift for the British monarchy. For generations, the royal family has carefully guarded its secrets to preserve stability and avoid public turmoil. But this time, the truth has broken through. For years, questions about Harry's parentage have haunted the monarchy. While some dismissed them as baseless gossip, others feared the consequences if the rumors proved true. A royal's lineage must be beyond doubt. Any uncertainty could shake the very foundation of the monarchy. Sources close to the palace say that King Charles didn't order a DNA test on impulse. Instead, it was a decision made under immense pressure from key members of the royal family and top advisors. The rumors had become too loud, too damaging, and there was no longer room for doubt. One source revealed that Prince Philip was the first to suggest the test years ago. The late Duke of Edinburgh, known for his deep loyalty to the crown, believed the royal family couldn't allow such speculation to linger indefinitely. If there was even a slight chance that Harry wasn't Charles's son, Philip wanted absolute clarity. Others believed that Queen Elizabeth II herself approved the test, but insisted the results remain private. The Queen, dedicated to protecting the monarchy, would have understood how devastating such a revelation could be during her reign. The royal family had already endured scandals from Charles and Diana's turbulent marriage, and the last thing they needed was a revelation that could spark a constitutional crisis. Another theory suggests that Charles wasn't necessarily doubtful of Harry's parentage, but wanted to end the speculation once and for all. If the test confirmed that Harry was his son, it would have silenced the gossip for good. But if the results proved otherwise, Charles could quietly bury the truth, preserving the monarchy's stability. The test was conducted in complete secrecy. No public statements, no media leaks, and no official acknowledgement that it had even happened. The results were reportedly kept confidential, known only to a select few within the royal family. But secrets rarely stay hidden forever. For years, the royal family publicly dismissed the rumors about a DNA test, acting as though they weren't worth addressing. However, behind palace doors, the results changed everything. Insiders now claim that the test confirmed what many had speculated. There was no genetic link between Prince Harry and King Charles. This revelation had enormous consequences. First, it meant that Harry's entire life as a prince was based on a falsehood. He was raised as the son of the future king, enjoying all the privileges and responsibilities that came with it. He carried the Windsor name, served in the military, and represented the monarchy on official duties. Second, it meant that Harry was never truly in line for the throne. Without royal blood, his role as Prince William's spare was nothing more than an illusion. Finally, it suggested that the royal family had known the truth for years. If the test was done long ago, then Charles, Queen Elizabeth, and other senior royals had been keeping this secret, while the world continued to believe Harry was a legitimate prince. The big question is, why didn't they act on the results sooner? If Charles had this information, what made him wait so long before addressing it? One possible reason is that Charles hesitated to take action. Queen Elizabeth spent her reign protecting the monarchy from scandals, and revealing such a shocking secret while she was still queen could have created unnecessary turmoil. Another reason might be that Charles struggled with the emotional weight of the truth. Even if they had their differences, he had raised Harry as his own son. Publicly admitting that Harry wasn't biologically his may have been a painful and difficult step to take. However, as tensions between Harry and the royal family escalated in recent years, Charles may have felt it was time to act. With Harry and Meghan openly criticizing the monarchy and signing major media deals, Charles could have decided that stripping them of royal status was the best way to protect the institution. Another major factor may have been concern over public reaction. If people discovered that Harry wasn't Charles's son, the backlash could have been unpredictable. The monarchy thrives on stability, and revealing the truth could have shaken its very foundation. Such a scandal would dominate the news cycle and potentially damage the royal family's reputation for years. Another important factor is the legal and financial complications that would arise. As a prince, Harry benefited from significant royal privileges, security, and financial support. If it turned out he wasn't a true Windsor, many would question whether he was ever entitled to those benefits. Diana's legacy also plays a role in this situation. The royal family has already faced years of scrutiny for how she was treated, and if it became public knowledge that she had a child who wasn't Charles's, it could reignite negative feelings toward the monarchy. Some believe Charles may have chosen to keep this secret until he became king. If he had revealed it earlier, as Prince of Wales, it might have seemed like he was trying to erase Diana's memory or cut ties with Harry prematurely. But now, as king, Charles has full authority over the monarchy. If he believes removing Harry from the line of succession is necessary for the stability of the institution, he can act without concern for public opinion. What was once a dangerous secret could now serve as a strategic advantage. With the truth supposedly revealed, what happens next? One of the biggest actions King Charles could take is officially removing Harry from the line of succession. If the DNA results are recognized, Harry could be taken off the list of heirs to the throne, solidifying Prince William's position as the one true heir. Another likely step would be stripping Harry of his remaining royal titles. Even though he stepped back from royal duties, he still holds the title of Duke of Sussex. If Charles wants to distance the monarchy from Harry completely, he could revoke the dukedom, further severing Harry's royal ties. Would Charles also go as far as removing the HRH titles from Harry and Meghan's children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet? That would be another major decision that could reshape the Sussex family's connection to the monarchy forever. With this bombshell revelation, the monarchy faces a crossroads. Will Charles use this moment to tighten control over the institution? And how will Harry and Meghan respond? Will they fight back, or will this push them further away from royal life? If Charles decides to strip Harry of his Duke of Sussex title, it would sever his last official link to the royal family. Without that title, Harry would be completely untethered from his royal identity, marking a dramatic shift in his status. The big question now is, how will the public react? Will the British people sympathize with Harry, seeing him as a victim of a monarchy that kept secrets from him? Or will they support Charles, believing that he is making the tough but necessary decision to protect the institution? One thing is certain, this is more than just a family dispute. It's a political and historical moment that could define King Charles's reign and reshape the future of the British monarchy. When Meghan Markle married Prince Harry, she stepped into a world of immense power, privilege, and global influence. She transformed from an American actress into a duchess, gaining access to political circles, high-profile charity work, and media opportunities she might never have had otherwise. For Meghan, joining the royal family wasn't just about love. It was about legacy, status, and carving out a unique role on the world stage. But with King Charles reportedly revealing the truth about Harry's DNA, everything Meghan has built is now at risk. Sources close to the couple claim that Meghan was blindsided by the DNA results. She had always been aware of the rumors surrounding Harry's parentage, but dismissed them as baseless conspiracy theories. Like many others, she never believed. They could be true. But if the reports are correct, the reality is even more shocking than she could have ever imagined. If Harry is not Charles's biological son, then Meghan is no longer married to a prince. Their children, Archie and Lilibet, would have no legitimate claim to royal titles. This revelation would undermine the very foundation of the Sussexes' public image. Their multi-million-dollar deals with Netflix, Spotify, and publishers were largely built on their royal connections. The idea that they were royals in exile, separated from the monarchy, but still carrying its prestige without Harry's royal status. Their brand could suffer a major blow. Would the world still see them as significant figures without their ties to the crown? Would Hollywood and the media industry continue to invest in them if they are no longer seen as royal rebels, but simply as celebrities with a tarnished legacy? With this revelation, Meghan and Harry face a defining moment. Will they accept their new reality and attempt to rebuild their brand on something other than royalty? Or will they fight back, possibly challenging the monarchy's decision and seeking public support? Meanwhile, King Charles must navigate the consequences of his decision. Will this strengthen the monarchy by removing any lingering doubts about the legitimacy of the royal bloodline? Or will it spark backlash, creating deeper divisions within the royal family and among the public? No matter what happens next, one thing is clear. This is a turning point for the British monarchy, and the whole world is watching. Meghan understood that timing was everything. If they waited too long, the the royal family would control the narrative, framing the revelation as a necessary step to protect the monarchy. But if Meghan and Harry acted fast, they could turn public sympathy in their favor. One strategy under consideration was questioning the DNA test results. If they could suggest that the test was tampered with or demand an independent verification, they might create enough doubt to delay or even prevent Harry's removal from the line of succession. Another approach was to frame the revelation as a personal betrayal. Meghan and Harry could position themselves as victims of a monarchy that had known the truth for years, but kept it hidden to control Harry, only choosing to reveal it now as an act of revenge. By presenting themselves as a family wronged by a cold and calculating institution, they could appeal to their supporters and the broader public. Meghan, known for her media savvy, considered using her connections in Hollywood and the American press to shape the story in their favor. She understood that while the British tabloids might side with the monarchy, the American media could be more sympathetic to their version of events. Exclusive interviews, carefully crafted public statements, and possibly even a high-profile documentary could be used to take control of the narrative. Without Harry's royal status, their entire brand was at stake. Would the world still see them as influential figures if they were no longer tied to the monarchy? Could they maintain their platform without the titles and prestige that had once given them global relevance? Meghan and Harry had built their image on being royals in exile, carving out a new role for themselves while still carrying the weight of their royal heritage. If that was taken away, they would need to reinvent themselves completely. Would they embrace a new identity as activists, media personalities, or philanthropists? Or would they struggle to maintain their influence without the royal connection? At the same time, King Charles had his own challenge, proving that this decision was not an act of revenge, but a necessary move to protect the integrity of the monarchy. The palace would likely frame this as a long-overdue step to silence harmful speculation and reinforce the legitimacy of the royal bloodline. With the world watching, both sides are preparing for a major showdown. Will Meghan and Harry manage to turn this crisis into another opportunity? Or will they find themselves isolated and struggling to stay relevant? Will Charles succeed in securing the monarchy's reputation, or will this revelation spark a backlash against the royal family? One thing is certain. This is not just a private family matter. It's a defining moment for the monarchy, the Sussexes, and their place in history. Archie and Lilibet's future now hung in the balance. Meghan had worked hard to ensure that her children carried royal titles, fighting for their recognition as prince and princess after Queen Elizabeth's passing. But if Harry was no longer considered King Charles's biological son, what would that mean for their children? Under traditional royal rules, Archie and Lilibet were granted the right to be called prince and princess once their grandfather, Charles, became king. But if Harry's royal status was questioned, then so was theirs. Would King Charles strip them of their titles? Would they still be considered part of the royal lineage? For Meghan, this was more than just a symbolic issue. It was about their future. The royal titles gave her children status, legitimacy, and a connection to the monarchy that had shaped so much of their lives. Losing those titles would mean losing a powerful link to the royal legacy, something that Meghan and Harry had used to their advantage in their media and business ventures. Determined not to let Archie and Lilibet become casualties of this scandal, Meghan reportedly went into full crisis mode. Her team began exploring legal options, consulting with experts on royal precedent and constitutional law. Could Charles legally remove the children's royal status? Could Meghan and Harry challenge it? Meghan also considered using public pressure to their advantage. If she could present her children as innocent victims in a ruthless royal power struggle, she might be able to sway public opinion and make it difficult for Charles to take action. against them. One idea that surfaced was the possibility of seeking support from the American government. If the UK refused to recognize Archie and Lilibet as royals, could Meghan push for their status to be acknowledged in the US? After all, they were born in America, and Meghan had strong political connections. The ball was now in King Charles's court. Would he let Archie and Lilibet keep their titles despite the DNA scandal? Or would he make the drastic decision to fully sever ties, ensuring that only those with direct royal blood could claim the family's legacy? Meanwhile, the public reaction remained mixed. Some sympathized with Harry and Meghan, believing that their children shouldn't suffer for something beyond their control. Others felt that if Harry wasn't truly a Windsor, then neither were his kids, and they had no right to royal privileges. One thing was clear. This wasn't just about Harry anymore, it was about the next generation. And whatever decision Charles made would have lasting consequences, not just for Archie and Lilibet, but for the future of the monarchy itself. Meghan knew that time was of the essence. If King Charles moved quickly to strip Archie and Lilibet of their titles, she would have to respond just as swiftly. But how far was she willing to go to fight for her children's royal status? One of Meghan's most controversial strategies was the idea of challenging the monarchy through legal means. While the British royal family traditionally operates beyond the reach of normal courts, Meghan was reportedly exploring whether she could argue that stripping her children of their titles was an act of discrimination. Could she take her case to the UK courts? Or would she seek justice through international organizations like the United Nations or the European Court of Human Rights? If Meghan framed the issue as a violation of her children's birthrights, she might gain powerful allies who could apply pressure on the royal family. However, legal experts suggested that this could be an uphill battle. The British monarchy has centuries of precedent behind it, and King Charles, as the reigning sovereign, has the power to decide who holds royal titles. Any legal case against the crown would be difficult to win. Beyond legal action, Meghan was also considering a full-scale media offensive. She and Harry had successfully used high-profile interviews and documentaries in the past to control public perception. Would she sit down for another bombshell interview? If so, who would she choose? Oprah Winfrey, who had already helped Meghan expose her struggles with the royal family, was an obvious choice. However, other influential figures in the media, such as Gayle King or Anderson Cooper, might also be interested in helping her tell her side of the story. Another potential avenue was a documentary series. Meghan and Harry already had ties with Netflix, and insiders speculated that they could produce a special focused on the DNA scandal, painting themselves as victims of a ruthless monarchy. If Meghan and Harry lost their royal titles completely, they might need to reinvent themselves. Some reports suggested that they could embrace a new identity, perhaps positioning themselves as humanitarian leaders or even stepping into the political world. Would Meghan consider a future in U.S. politics? With her connections and growing activist reputation, some believed she might eventually run for office. Losing her royal status could even give her more freedom to pursue this path. Others speculated that Meghan and Harry might relocate to a new country where they could continue to build their brand without the constraints of royal tradition. Could they move to Canada, where Meghan had lived before, or another country where they could still carry some level of prestige? While Meghan was preparing for battle, King Charles was also strategizing. Would he move quickly to strip Archie and Lilibet of their titles, or would he hesitate, knowing that the backlash could damage his reign? Some royal experts believed Charles might take a more subtle approach. Rather than formally announcing that Harry was not his biological son, he could gradually phase out any official recognition of the Sussexes, making their titles meaningless over time. One thing was certain: this scandal was far from over. Both sides were preparing for a fight, and the world was watching to see who would emerge victorious. Would Meghan succeed in protecting her children's royal future? Or would King Charles finally sever the Sussexes' last ties to the monarchy? It's clear that Meghan is prepared to fight for her family's future, refusing to let one DNA test determine everything she and Harry have built. However, with King Charles in full control of the monarchy and the British media largely supporting his decisions, the real question remains: does Meghan truly stand a chance in this battle? The British monarchy operates under strict rules when it comes to the line of succession. Unlike in democratic systems, where leadership changes through elections or appointments, royal inheritance is determined by bloodline legitimacy and long-established legal traditions. If Prince Harry is indeed not the biological son of King Charles, his claim to the throne would be invalid. But removing him from the line of succession is not as simple as issuing a royal decree. The British monarchy is closely tied to UK law, and any major changes to the order of succession require official legal procedures. According to constitutional experts, altering the line of succession typically requires an Act of Parliament. This means that even though Charles is king, he cannot single-handedly remove Harry without political approval. The monarchy has seen such interventions before, most notably when King Edward VIII abdicated the throne in 1936 to marry Wallis Simpson, a decision that required government involvement. In more recent years, changes to succession laws have modernized the monarchy, such as granting equal inheritance rights to female royals. In Harry's case, however, if DNA evidence proves he is not Charles's biological son, his removal from the line of succession would not just be a political decision, it would be a matter of protecting the monarchy's legitimacy. Behind the scenes, speculation is growing that Charles has already consulted legal experts and royal advisors to determine the best way to handle this revelation. Stripping Harry of his position in the line of succession is a delicate issue, one that must be executed quickly but also legally to avoid backlash. While the British public may react with sympathy towards Harry, many royal supporters believe Charles has a responsibility to maintain the monarchy's integrity. Keeping an illegitimate heir in the line of succession could be seen as a threat to the institution's credibility. The decision to remove Harry from the line of succession would undoubtedly create significant tension within the royal family. Prince William, as the next legitimate heir, may privately support the move, ensuring that his own children's inheritance remains undisputed. However, this revelation could permanently sever Harry's ties with his father and brother, making any future reconciliation nearly impossible. For Meghan, the stakes are even higher. Without Harry's royal status, their entire public image, built on their titles and royal connections, could begin to collapse. Their ability to secure lucrative deals in Hollywood, publishing, and public speaking may be significantly weakened if they are no longer seen as royals in exile. What happens next? Will Meghan and Harry challenge the DNA results? If they believe the test was manipulated, they may demand an independent verification. Will Charles move quickly to strip Harry's titles? If so, Meghan and Harry might escalate their fight, possibly taking legal action. How will the public react? Will sympathy for Harry grow, or will people side with Charles in protecting the monarchy? One thing is certain: this scandal is far from over. The decisions made in the coming weeks will shape King Charles's reign and the future of the royal family for generations to come.